All right. We are live. We are live. I believe we are live. Yes, we are. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Jedovi 3D. Today, we're going to jump right into it. I want to, stop stuttering around and get this thing worked out. At least try and get this physical build done today. So, without further ado, let's jump into this. Ooh, no, we don't want to do that. All right. Let's get this on the screen. We have a key type as chroma key. We are going to turn it into picture-in-picture. And alright, let's scroll this up. Get to this point. Because last time I was live, as you can see, if you can see on the small screen, I definitely, are you not Bluetooth then? I don't think my, yeah. Let me get disconnected. You're not on here, huh? Okay, that's fine. But if you can see on the screen there, that clip, these are the clips, and it kind of shows you at the bottom of the screen. If you look right there, I'm gonna try and move it more towards the middle, where it says the two M3x10 screws, they go in through the side. I actually put that in wrong. So if you can see this right here, I changed most of the pieces. I just wanted to leave this for last so you can see where I made my mistake at last time. This clip is supposed to go inside to where the clip is going to grab the acrylic back piece and snap it into place. So this is wrong. We're going to take this out and put it the right way so you can see how to actually do it. So I'm going to take this out. Actually, I'm going to use this tool because it made it a bit easier for me when I did the rest. Use this flexible piece because, like I said, follow the direct. If you're going to follow this PDF file, follow the PDF and put these clips on before you glue this together. Because this piece kind of like, these two together kind of gets in the way, so I got to get this in order to bend that out of the way. All right, that's out. We'll put that up there. And take this out. All right, we'll take this piece out. And yes, I know this project has been taking way longer than I originally wanted to take. Today, I'm trying to make some good progress. So we're going to take this clip, these holes, the same way these holes right here have to line up with the holes in here. So this goes through the hole right here. It's a slot right here. This clip is going to go through these holes. So get it in there. See how that fit through the slot right there, and it lines up with those holes, so it actually makes that easier to screw into place. So I'm sorry for any misleading on that from, and it just, I should have known something was wrong, because this whole process of putting this Ender NG together hasn't been difficult at all. Everything's been basically fitting and matching into place. Anything with any complications is something I modified or either did wrong. So that goes in there right there. So that's in there good. And now, as you can see, this clip, all it's gonna do is when it sits on the back, that screen's in the way. When it sits on the back, this clip just goes back and forth and it's gonna clamp onto the acrylic piece. All right. Let's pull the printer on top. Turn this on. Menu. Create key type. Key type is home key. All right. So we're going to pull the printer up on top. All right, as you can see, I already ran my wires from my hot end through the rear. These are the wires connecting to the motherboard. They're still labeled. Everything is cool. Anything that's not labeled, I can physically see back here, like stepper motors, the fans to cool in the stepper motors, and the what's up, T? The fans to cool in the stepper motors, and whatever else is back here. So anything without a label, I know exactly what it is. So what we're gonna do, let's put this on. Place, line the T up, and put that in there. Okay, cool. Just getting T-nuts in there. There we go. Last one. That. So the air vent is on here. Seems like everything is pretty cool. All my clips are back. When I put the acrylic panel on, they'll just pop on like this. And the acrylic panel, the acrylic panel is right here. So once all this stuff is inside, it'll go on to the back. I gotta take that masking piece off, and I'll just pop these clips on. And all you're gonna do is pop these clips on to hold it in place, like so. All right. T, what's up, T? See you dropped off, man, but I know you'll be back. All right, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna raise this camera up a bit. Actually, I'm gonna leave this one down so that you guys, when I come back here, you can see what's going on right there. Okay, and I'm gonna go over the top. Now, all right, so try and move this up so you can see. So right here, we ran our hot end wire. I put the cable wrap around there. I had to order some zip ties, so I'll be zip tying this together, and I have one more zip tie to place up here so it could be more supported here. Also had a zip tie to go through here to grab the wires and push it back. The wiring doesn't look too bad. Like I told you guys, I reversed. Thank you, brother. Thank you, T. So I reversed the, you can't quite see it from this angle. Maybe I'll get this camera in here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about with my, thing. So let's see. Okay. So I basically reversed the breakout board. Instead of soldering the connections to just break out the whole hot end to the back of the breakout board, I reversed it and soldered the connections from the motherboard wires into the rear, into the female ports of the breakout board, and I left everything that was connected to the breakout board to male JST XH connections. So that in order, if I wanted to place something individually, I wouldn't have to worry about, you know, resoldering to the female side. I can just take it out and replace it. Does it go all the way to the back now? Yes, it goes all the way to the back. The only thing, I don't know if you can see that. The only thing with it right here, let me see if I can drop this camera some. The only thing, it is hitting the belts, but there's a slot right here that I'm going to put the okay. No, I wasn't saying it was going all the way back. I was saying that there wasn't enough room back here for the wires to come through, but you know, everything is soldered, everything is tight. I'll officially see if everything is insulated as far as like heat shrink wraps and electrical tape. It's pressed up tightly against the gantry adapter. So that's what my concern was, but it fits. It's sitting in place, and it's pretty decent. The only thing I'm saying now is that it's hitting the belts, the X and Y belts, but there are loops here that I'm going to place a zip tie in to pull the belts forward. So once I do that, this won't hit the belts anymore. Everything will be clear on the back end. But everything's cool, and the wires aren't, the wiring rounding up here doesn't look horrible. And that was my only concern. Was it gonna look horrible? So let me see something. Make sure, all right, cool. Yeah, that was my only concern. Was it gonna look horrible? And it really doesn't. You know, it's the rear of the printer. You gotta expect to have some wires back there. So let's go up top. Back up top if we can. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is, if I can pull this back some, push this all the way over to the left, and I want to see where I can comfortably bring this wire to where it won't put too much stress on here, but it's enough lenience to where it's not so much when it comes back here, which I think that might be good. I think right there, because I'm zip tie. Matter of fact, let me do that now. I got one zip I can put up here. Alright, cool. That gives it more of a holding position up at the top. So let's see. So that's far enough. I don't want to make it overly too tight or be too much out. Goes this way. That looks pretty good. So, at this point in time, I'm gonna bring this forward some so you can see. I forgot what these are called for basic cable management. I'm gonna stick this in this hole if it can fit. There we go. I don't know if it'll be able to hold both sides the way it's supposed to. It's a lot of wiring. I have this 1/2-inch wiring cover. That over. That's no good. Well, I'll get something in there. I'll figure that out later. But all right, let's get back to these wires back here. I might have to cut some of this coil down. It might be making it too thick. It needs to just be wire to wire right there. And go to the back, rear of the camera. All right. Just adjusting the camera so you guys can see the back end. Okay. All right. So now with that being said, I'm gonna leave this like this. We pull up the PDF on the screen. Type. All right. So we got the vents on there now. Everything is cool. Yeah, I gotta find a way. Like I said, maybe I gotta, on this part of it right here, I have to tighten up that wiring. I gotta reprint that part so that, you know, we can actually, I can put the wire through there. Let me see, what's that called? The switch. The cable gland. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this battery out. We gotta do some battery work. I'm gonna take this off the table and we're gonna do that from the top. All right, so for the battery, I have to take this plastic piece off. This came from the original Ender 3. Let's take it off. Let me see how it's attached. Yep, there's definitely mostly electrical work left. That's when I want to get the bulk of the build done. I got a few hours today, maybe like 2.5 hours. Pardon me. I want to get a bulk of the everything done. The motherboard, I have to set it up and put it in UART mode. I might do that next since I have the printer off the table. See, make sure we're good with that. Get the thicker one. Maybe too thick, but we'll see. Take this off. This side, too big. Pardon the dogs. Must be somebody at the door. All right. Yes. I'm a Patreon of RS3D. And yeah, I already have the STLs and everything. I even got the parts, the Bondtech parts, and all of the stepper motors to build the MMU. Okay. These connections. See how these can already just pull. Yeah, they are. You should come right off. All right. Woo! That's all I wanted from you anyway. All right, that's the ground. Is it? No. Power. All right, so we got the board, and we got to take out these two screws and attach the casing, the fan casing adapter. Pretty sure that's what it's called. Not sure. Anyway, so we'll attach that on. Let me grab my Phillips bit. Let's see if it looks like 360 is the wattage. 360 watts, 24 volts. On the original N3 power supply, and that's what this is. Okay. So I want that fan to move, so I'm gonna do it like this. All right, so I'm gonna tighten that back up. Hold this into place because the fan in there looks like it's gonna fall. So I'm gonna hold this into place. As soon as I find the hole, pardon me. Tighten this back up. I wanted to hold that into place with this. Put it down here like this. Hold this into place. Tighten that up. See if I can get that to fall back. See if I can get this to fall back down so that I can screw that fan in there. Okay. What we got here? Something in the way catching it now. See if I can get that screw back in there to pull it up. Yeah, it's too far down there now. Alright, loosen this one up. Might be too much pressure. Loosen this one up. Yeah, it was too much pressure. And now that's back on there. Give me 1 second. Hold this. Put this on. And try and catch it. Did I catch it or no? Oh, damn. There we go. So I caught it that time. So when I unscrewed the fans, that the shroud is going to attach to a drop. So before I took this one out, I just brought it up a little bit so that I can catch this first, tighten that up, take this one off, and then catch the other one without opening up the without having to open this up. Alright, so we're good now. Fan is in place with the shroud. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of power in it. I guess with the older printers, you know, in the designers, we might need this much power, and technically you don't. And as time goes on and they improve the design, they learn how to drop the wattage on it. All right, so this is the mounts for the motherboard. There's different designs for different motherboards. This is for the Octopus V1.1. That's the actual motherboard that I have. This is to attach it in place. So all of these, we already got our heat inserts in here. If you can see, we already got our heat inserts. in each corner. Let me not slide everything all over the place. We already got our heat inserts in each corner. And I don't know if you mount it to the DIN rail yet. Yeah, so this part is about mounting it to the DIN rail. So we're going to mount the adapter on, but I'm not going to actually put the motherboard on just yet. And the reason being, you know, I got to prep it, like I said, and set it up in UART mode. So I am going to bring the printer back up here. So was I supposed to put the power supply in? Yeah. So I had to, didn't do that yet. Let me do that. Alright. Before I do that, put the power supply mounts on. So it's saying we need 4 M4 bolts, M4 by 8 bolts. Pardon me, for the power supply. All right, so they're gonna go through these 2 holes right here. Just gotta see how it correlates with the bottom piece. It doesn't show that. So it looks like my mouse isn't there. So if you could see on the screen where it actually shows where the DIN rail PS4 24 volts mount, it's like an upside down T, and it looks like the shroud is sitting on the lower part. The shroud on the other side is sitting on the lower part, I'm guessing. So we're going to take these, we're going to grab some M4 by 8s. Four M4 by 8s, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so go in here like this. Yes, I'm doing the I'm doing sensorless homing. That's why I really didn't add I didn't add the X and Y end stops. So we're going with the sensorless homing. We're using the the TMC 2209 drivers. There. And these are the DIN rail mounts that's going on here. Power supply. There we go. So we got this ready to go. We'll put that to the side. Now we'll bring the printer back up. Okay. Back it up some. Back it up some. Turn it. Just getting the camera set up. Tighten this thing. This thing is known to drift on me. Okay. So we'll put these mounts on. It's gotta go this way. So in all actuality, I think I might have put these mounts on upside down. I did. Because if this goes on like this, the T mounts, all of the weight should be on top of there. Simple fix. This as well. All right. And I'm hoping this is the last time I'm doing this, and I'm not. I didn't have it correct the first time, so. Okay, so that's cool, and that goes right there. All right, so then we'll get the mounts for the motherboard to so let me see what size we gotta use. We gotta use M3x6s for this right here. Let's see what we got here. This is M3x8, M3x6. So we're going through this side. Should be self-tapping inside of these locations. I need a different bit. That's not it either. Here we go. Line it up. Line this hole up back here. Let me make sure I'm doing this correctly. And the way it looks like it's mounted, it looks like I had the power supply on correctly the first time, but we're not even going to touch that again. It looks like it's on decent. So, all right. So they're supposed to be mounted upside down like this. I thought it was all the weight goes on the top, but probably makes more sense with the bottom being thicker, it's stiffer and can hold more weight. All right, so that's on with that one. Okay. Put this one through. Get it lined up. All right, that one's on. Line this one up as well. Okay, and I'm just tightening them up. I'm not overly tightening them. Tighten them to the point that they're holding. Okay, let's get this in here first. Not change up the program yet. That's why the last ones are always the pain in the ASS. All right. All right, so that's in there somewhat. All right, that works. So these are on now. They're on the back of the motherboard holder. So this will go on up here somewhere. Let's find out where though. It's gonna be here. We'll put this right here for now. So them round. See this one now. This one's clipped on. Gonna make sure these top pieces are on. There we go. Top is on. And the bottoms, except for that one, is on. It's pretty good, pretty on there, pretty stiff. Looks kind of crooked though. There we go, that's why. Alright, so it's popped into place. We can slide this along the sides wherever we want to put it, and that's cool. Now, I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to get into the motherboard. We'll go back to this part. We'll install the adapter for the Raspberry Pi. So that looks like it goes on. I'm just trying to make sure there's no heat inserts that I missed right here. I don't think so. So it looks like the Raspberry Pi adapter orientation is going to be like this. And what side? I'm looking at it from the perspective of how I'm looking at the PDF, like this. And the screws go through here. And what do we have again? Do we have M3x6? Yes, we have M3x6 that are going to go through there. So. Get this side in. Okay. Line this up. Line up the hole. Let's get this in here, tighten that up. All right, tighten this all the way up. All right, good. Who's that? Oh. So now we got the adapter mount for the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so we'll put this. Let's see, we got our hotbed. Let's See, where would be the correct place to put the Raspberry Pi? Here or here? That wire's there. Once the Raspberry Pi goes on, we might have some casings, but we got some wiring here, but there is more space. So for this moment, put the Raspberry Pi right here. And we'll just see how that wire works out. Okay, so the Raspberry Pi be right here. That's not on there tight. Let me make that a little tighter. There we go. Okay. Come on, then, rail system, don't break on me. Think you're on? Yeah, it's on. Okay. No, it's not gripping. What's going on there? Ah, I see what it is. That M3x6 was, I might have been a little too aggressive with that. So that's what popped it out. Now, there we go. Okay. So that's in place. I might have to put a shorter screw there like an M3x5. I know I got them. All right. So those are the adapter pieces. So the next, we're very low in this PDF. We're almost done. I'm not going to put these in just yet because maybe the Raspberry Pi. With that being said, let me see if I got a shorter M3. M3x6. Alright, I got an M3x4 right here that I am going to use to make that just a little bit tighter where that M3x5 is. I mean, where that M3x6 is. So M3x4. No, you don't have any in here. And here we go. Like I said, that M3x6 is just a bit aggressive on the other side of the NIM rail mount. And you guys can, I'm sorry, this screen is in the way. That's where I actually put the Raspberry Pi. It's going to sit at. And like, if you could, I don't know if you can see, let me tighten up a little bit. That's as close as I can go. The screw right here that tightens into the actual adapter piece it goes too deep. So now I'm not able to put that all the way in and tighten it up, so it's very loose. So I'm going to put a shorter screw in there to try and get some more pressure on there. Which just worked wonders. Okay. That's good. Hey Scott. Prusa 1 kit. Absolutely, man. You want to do it yourself. It gives you that feeling that, I did this. Yeah. What's up, Vash Makes? Yeah, but yeah, so this this actual printer, if you turn the one into a graver, this would be a great high speed project. You know, check out RH3D's .xyz, and you know they have all the bill of material and stuff like that, and you know you can get the kits ready to go for it, so you know what you've already pre-spent, what you got to pre-spend and stuff like that. So all good, all good. Okay, so I was at putting the Raspberry Pi on. I think I'm gonna do that. Because if the next step is to put the motherboard in UART mode, and then put it on, then that's what we're gonna do. We'll put the Raspberry Pi on. So for the Raspberry Pi, I'm sorry, I should have rubber gloves on. These electronics shouldn't be touching with your bare hands, but as you guys can see, I got dry hands. There is no oil in my hands. So let's see, M3x6 is what we need to go through this hole right here. It's an M3x6. We're gonna need an M3x20 for all of the other holes. All right. So I guess to hold it into place and how it sits, it's gonna sit like this. And that's why I said I don't know about putting it here. Let's see if I can slide it over some more. That should give it enough room. So it says an M3x6 to hold it there. That's what we'll do. Absolutely, absolutely. The more, you know, before this, I've never built a printer from the ground. Well, even though it comes from an Ender 3, this is really the ground up. You know, I've changed a lot. I've modified printers, but I've never built them. And this has definitely given me an appreciation for that. Definitely. So this is an M3x6, but this isn't fitting through this hole, and I don't want to damage this Raspberry Pi's PCB. It actually looks like it's going to have to be an M2, which is a problem because, let's see if I can thread this without cracking, going in and out. Alright, so with that insulation, there's no copper there or anything like that. That does look like plastic insulation just for fitting the screw through. So okay. Yeah, before that I modified, you know, hot ends and the Hero Me gens and stuff like that, and you know, I changed, basically revamped that whole Cobra, the whole Cobra Max, but you know, building something directly and straight from let me take this off of here. It's too much bending and stuff, and I don't want to break anything. And that might have to be what I do with the motherboard. Well, no, the motherboard has inserts, so that'll be a little bit easier. This right here I'm gonna take off. And let me remove this and do this. Just go from the top. Wrong one. Yeah, and basically I revamped the whole Max with Cobra Max with a new motherboard and stuff like that, but this is something totally different. You know, when I come in here and I look at this printer, I just get this feeling of, you know, accomplishment. Even though I know it's taking longer than I said it was going to take, it just feels like, look what I built. I tell my wife all the time, you see that? That was the Ender. That was the Ender. Now it looks crazy, right? Alright, so that's that. This piece goes on top. This will be the fan shroud cover. goes on like this. I need M3 by 20s. Absolutely, T. Absolutely. And it's funny, you know, like going on lives, a lot of times I'm fumbling around. You guys get to see the real me when I put stuff together. This is when I'm doing anything. You know, I'll lose a tool right in front of my face. I have to run down to the other workshop in the basement to grab some things. You know, I'll put something on backwards. So, you know, you get the full process, the full me. And, you know, I love meeting you guys. Let's see, let me do this sideways. I am going, when I go lives, I'm going to start a new feature. You know, this will be in my future lives, in the near future lives. I'm going to have a new feature to where, you know, you'll be able to call in directly and we'll talk to each other live to, so you can tell me exactly where I'm going wrong with the stuff that I'm doing. Even though it's a bit tough, this thing isn't powerful enough to do it. It does help with the twist of the wrist, kind of. Use this thing. Just had to charge it for a little bit. Beautiful. So it's the Raspberry Pi. Can we tighten some more? So that's how the Raspberry Pi is going to fit on. We're about to put the fan on. So the fan, you just make sure this is a 40 by 10. It's not like 40 by, it looks like a 10. Yeah. 40 by 11 basically, but it's supposed to be a 10. Yep. So we'll put this on with M3 by 10 screws. I just got to see the way this is going to be sitting on the machine. It's going to sit this way. The motherboard is that way. We want the fan to we want it to blow on or off. Looks like we want it to blow the air off. On, I'm sorry, because this is the air side. So just the way the setup looks, to keep the Raspberry Pi cool, you're blowing the air onto it, which will be that side. Okay. So M3 by 10s. And the motherboard is going to be up there, so I'll put this here. Not necessarily. I soldered and put these wires together for the you know, and on the top three ones, this is going to be the two, you can see here, the two 60 by 15 fans. It's going to be for two 60 by 15, and the one Raspberry Pi fan, they'll have the equal amount. I'm sorry, they'll be running off of the same pin. So all three of these are going to be together. These are for the two 60 by 15s, and this one down here is going to be for the Raspberry Pi's fan. So it'll go in there. I know the Raspberry Pi can definitely manage his own fans with the pins, but we're going to have the motherboard controller fan. So M3 by 10. Roger, thanks T. So this will be going, the air will be going on the Raspberry Pi. There you go. I'm putting these 4 M3 by 10 screws that attach the fan to the fan shroud or adapter, whatever you want to call it. Just tighten this up. It's in there. That's in there. That's in there. And that's in there. All right, so now set this to the side for a second. What we're gonna do is on this I keep touching that thing. On our PDF, we're gonna switch over to the Bigtreetech Octopus PDF and see what pins we need to take out of the motherboard to put it in UART mode and then attach our drivers, our TMC drivers. So we get here, files. Ender, Bigtreetech, open this Acrobat. Come on, guy. Did you open up? We had an issue with that. Bigtreetech, open it Acrobat. There we go. So my biggest concern with this one, let me switch. Key type. Going back to Chrome key. Okay, cool. Menu out. And okay, you guys saw everything right there. Okay. Alright, what up? Alright. Did you freeze on me, man? It looks like my iPad froze on me. Alright, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. So if you can see, this is our Bigtreetech motherboard. We are going to waiting for ball already. Have real high end finish. Yeah, that thing is still over there running. I'm about to, on this channel, I don't know if I'm going to start up a new channel and go on this channel, but what is it called, AMSR or whatever. I think I'm gonna focus on the Cobra Max printing, because you know it's big, and any big 3D print is just, you know, so eye-catching. But that's going to be the one that's working. I am going to do some more modifications to that too. I got a Bigtreetech what's it called, an Eddy. And I just got a mill as well, to where I gotta make a new X adapter, because I'm going to change it to linear rails. I'm gonna do my own thing. It's not going to be a kit thing. It's going to be me fully customizing the Cobra Max for X linear rails. And then I'm going to modify the Hero Me Gen hot end cooling situation to allow it to attach that a Bigtreetech Eddy current, because I'm tired. I'm honestly, you guys, I'm tired of the probe, the touch probe. I'm tired of it. I'd rather have the nozzle be the actual probe, and you know, using the eddy current, that's way faster anyway. But I'd rather have the nozzle doing the auto Z. I'm tired of the paper test. I'm tired of all of that stuff. But you know, when I modify my printers, I want them to be as automated as possible. So that's what I'm going to eventually do to that one as well. Well, just because I guess it's limiting the speed, just because they're moving faster, and the stopping power of the actual stepper motor to go in reverse. Yeah, so you will probably have to you can up the speed, but it's going to kind of slow the what's that called? Somebody in the chat help me out. The when it's reaching the edge and it has to slow down in order not to create the waves and stuff like that. The it slipped my mind. The pressure advance. So you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to adjust the pressure advance towards, yeah, definitely input shaping T, but you know, to adjust the pressure advance to when it gets to those corners, and allow it to slow down before it hits those corners. Because it's also, yeah, Dave, it's also jerk too. So all of that is within the input shaping that it, you know, it calculates and lets your printer know how, you know, how fast it's capable to go as far as acceleration and when it hits corners and stuff like that. And when it's stop and go power basically. So yeah, because the build plate is so big, you put it on linear rails, it gets kind of tough in those situations. All right, so let me get back. Let me see where I'm at. Motherboard wiring, touching, power loss, Raspberry Pi wiring. I think I'm gonna go the easy route and just connect the Raspberry Pi through USB. If it takes away, because I want to put a camera in here, and that will go into the Raspberry Pi. So I don't know if it takes away from too much. Then I did buy some actual pin wiring. I don't know where it went, but I did buy some in order to connect the Raspberry Pi directly to the motherboard through the pins. Stepper driver. This is the step DIR mode. Nope. We are going UART mode. So let's take a look at this. Let me see if I can zoom in on here. So in UART mode on our motherboard, what we're going to do for each driver is we're going to take out the jumpers. We're going to take out all of the jumpers, but keep, let me see if I can raise that up. Or is it too close? I don't know if you can see it behind my A1. You might not be, that looks good, I think. I don't know, my YouTube is behind. mine. So no, you can't see it. Come on, guy. Anyway, I'm gonna go back here with this one. So we gotta take out all of the jumpers that's in there already and just leave this one in each of the drive motors. All right. So we got 4 drive motors because we don't have the triple Z. So we got one for the Z axis motor. We have one for the X, the Y, and the extruder. So we have 4 drivers that we have to put in. All right. So this is going to be my guide of how I gotta keep this thing. So let's go to the top. Okay. Sorry about that, I'm adjusting the side video. Let's grab our motherboard wherever it's at. It should be close by because it's not close by. Give me 1 second, I will grab it. So here we are with the motherboard. This is the Bigtreetech Octopus version 1.1. It's not the Pro. This is the regular version. All right, I already took it out just for their representation. It always comes with a little rubber ducky, Bigtreetech stuff. Oh yeah, definitely can. And the Cobra Max 3 with the new multi-unit, I want one so bad, man. But I gotta focus on my projects, man. I gotta focus on making my stuff better, because I guess that's what this channel is all about, man. Making our own things better. All right. So I don't know if I can zoom in my ceiling camera. I don't even know if I want to do that. So what I want to do is I'm going to set up with my other camera right now just to get a closer view on what I'm doing. Okay. And let me get my tweezers. So, what I'm gonna do now is not confuse myself. I'll turn this upside down so I can see exactly what I'm seeing on the screen. So, these right here, if you can see them inside, these are the jumper pins. These little black pieces in order to jump these 2 pins together. So what we wanna do is, in order to put it in UART mode, we want to take this pin out, and this pin, and only leave this jumper right here. All right, so let's try and do that. And if you guys got any techniques for me, the easy way to take these out, please let me know. That was pretty easy. So that pin comes out. And we're definitely going to use UART mode because, like T said earlier, he asked me earlier, and that's what we're going with. It's sensorless homing. Of course, Dave, appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, man. And definitely that Cobra Max is going to make your friend shut up, man. Our printers and whatever we do manually is as good as we take care of it. So, you know, I see you're very interested in it. So, it's going to be a very interesting machine, man. Trust me. Trust me. Even though we're only using four drivers, we're going to put them all in UART mode, because eventually I am going to build the MMU for this printer. I already have the Hummingbird, because RH has a if you join his Patreon, you can get the BOM, the bill of material, and all of the instructions for the multi-material unit. And I already have everything. I bought everything to build it. I'm going to need more. I'm going to need to buy more drivers, and then I've already bought the expansion drivers to give those drivers even more drivers. But I'm not going to do the full, because I think he has his MMU, his multi-material unit set up for 7 color changes. I mean 7 different colors. I'm only going to do 6 colors. You know, 6 colors is better than the 4 that you initially get from like the Bamboo Labs and anybody who's bringing out a multi-material unit, Creality included. 6 colors is already good. We run our 3D printing business with just our we have a bunch of Bamboo Labs with 4 color changes, and that's plenty. That's plenty to make our business continue to grow. Hook top metal part with tweezers. Like that. Ah, that was even better than what I was doing. Thanks, T. Just don't want to go all the way through and pull that one up. So, looks like all of our jumpers are in place for each driver. These are the drivers here. Let me see. Before I start not making sense, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 8 drivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you make that, Dave, talk to me, man. Let's get together, because I'll make it too, man. T. I know you're really experienced with this. Explain it to me. All right, I see 8 motors. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I actually see 9 motors and 8 stepper drivers. Driver inserts. Is there one driver that controls 2 motors? I mean, I could dig into it and look at it, even take a look at the back and try and look at the path if it shows it. Socket, yeah. So let's see. This one controls that motor. This one controls that motor. This one controls that one. This controls that one. This controls that one. Ah, I see it. This one right here controls these 2 motors right here. Yeah, right here. These 2 motors. Let me see which one that is. That is 2. And more than likely, that's for the Z axis. If you have a 3D printer with a dual Z axis, that's more or less what that's for. And it looks like it's this one right here that controls the Yep, absolutely. M21 and motor 21 and motor 22. So yeah. Yeah, this is to bridge the Z motors. All right, absolutely. And just, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm sorry, my camera must have dropped. If what I'm looking at is, I gotta get the light. On the actual PCB, on the copper, when they cut these PCBs, you can see sometimes where the pins run to, and it actually shows you for those two motors that I was just talking about. They are actually right here, and you see the two motors connected to this actual driver right here. All right, cool. So we got that ready for the driver motors. So let's put this open. I got 4 of them right there. Take out one at a time if I can do that. It's actually a heat sink that can sit on, that's going to sit on top of it. And this is the actual driver, the TMC2209. Yeah, TMC2209. This is it, baby. All right. So this first one, like I said, since those are the ones that split it, I don't know if you can see that. So if those are the ones that split it, I'm going to make sure my Z-axis goes here. But I could just install these right now. I just got to make sure that happens when I actually plug those connections in. So this is for this one. Make sure I'm all the way in. All right, I'm all the way in. Nah, you give me you make it first, man. I'm your student. I'm your student. You make it first. And you guide me along the way. When I go on live and make it, me and you get on the phone together and you just let me know if what I'm doing is correct. All right. So this is our next motor. Cool. That's in there. That fits in there. And our heat sinks, we're gonna put our heat sinks right on here. All right, and next stepper. And yes, like I said, I will get the rest of the stepper motors, but right now, we need stepper drivers. We just need the 4 motors. Okay, last but not least. That's off. There we go. Cool. And then these are 4 stepper motors. So I don't know how I'm going to do it. You know, you just assign the pins inside of the actual print config file. But just, you know, just for entertainment purposes, this our extruder. Make sure. Okay. So, but this would definitely be the Z-axis, because it has the dual extruder, you know, and controls these two right here. So we'll have not dual extrude, but dual steppers. We'll have our extruder. We will have our X, our Z, and our Y, and that's how we'll do it. All right. What I was looking up for T was for sensorless homing. It's a UART thing, so that's the reason why I put it all in UART mode. Well, yeah, because and just if everything's in, I just put everything in UART mode just so I'm not confusing anything if anything gets confused. You see what I'm saying? Like I get it. Only the X and the Y need to be in UART mode. Everything else can be in a different driver mode, but I just put everything into UART. If that's the just to negate the confusion. You tell me, T, am I making a mistake, man? You know what I mean? This is why we live. I need to know if I need to put it back in a certain mode. If everything's cool and you are, and I'm just making it easier for myself. Right now, I'm just putting the heat sink on. I wanted some consistency, but I guess it don't look that way now. So you had the cut the pins, but my whole thing in I thought that was something that you just, if I'm going sensorless homing, it's something that that I have to write inside of the config file. I mean, I know a lot of these printers, a lot of them are already in UART mode, so I didn't think it would disrupt anything. But I did read that someone did have certain steppers in UART mode. Oh, okay. All right, we'll see. If I run into an issue, then I know exactly what that is. But from what I did look up was that certain pins were in UART mode, and someone had pins in UART mode, and then they had it maybe in another mode. I forgot the. Let me see. Like SPI mode or in a step mode, but it kind of confused the motherboard, if I'm not mistaken. So you're saying if I put everything in UART mode, I can fry this? Yeah, this is definitely for TMC. Oh, let's see. Yeah, this is one of the things I studied up and down. I just want to make sure. Firmware support. Okay, this is for UART mode. I'm sorry, but I'm just making sure. Because eventually we're going to get this thing on, and I don't want to, there you go, hold on. The diagram jumpers, which are used to connect the diagnostics output pin to the end stop inputs for drivers which support the stall guard feature, which is basically sensorless homing. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Can be found in a location shown in the image. The exact diagram numbering can be found by looking at the pins file on the silk screen beneath the board. So you have to put jumpers, hold on, the diag jumpers which are used to connect. So you gotta jump, we're gonna do those. Let me see where I'm at, right here. Looks like these right here, depending on which one you're using, this has to be jumped. The pins have to be jumped right here. Yeah, it's right here, the jumper you're talking about, T. All right, so let's figure out the, let me see. So the ones you're gonna do the sensorless homing, which is the stall guard, the jumpers are here. So the ones that you're gonna, like on the X and Y axis, I have to jump those in order to bypass the end stops. Let me see. Diagram 7. 0, 1, 2, and 3. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. For what did I say I was going to do? So this will be. So honestly, I'm gonna do X and Y next to each other, so I'm not confusing anything. So this will be X, this will be Y, this will be Z, and this will be E, the extruder. So these two, that would be 0 and 1. So I would jump these two pins right here, 0 and 1. Which are right here and right here. So let me see, it says on time. I'm just reading the your comments, T, just to make sure. Cut the pins on the Z and X drivers since you only need the sensor and helmet on one. So in order, and this says the diagram jumpers which are used to connect the diagnostics output pin to the end stop inputs for drivers which support the stall guard feature can be found in the location shown in the image. So yeah, the ones that I'm going to use, the sensor, the stall guard, the sensorless homing on, I just had to jump those. Okay. All right, cool. So that's going to be these two. This is going to be X, Y, Z, and E. That's how we're going to do it. That's how we're going to do it. I'm making up my mind, baby. All right, so the motherboard is ready to go. Let's get this printer back up here and start putting things on the back of the printer. Let's go here. Type. We're going to go I'm going to take all of my jumpers. They already had a bag with extra jumpers, and put them in there, put everything back in the box, and try not to lose this thing. Even though with me, it's like Mission Impossible because I lose everything. Starts a lot of arguments at home. You see my pen? You see my screwdriver? And she's never even been in here. Alright. So that's good. All my jumpers are in here. Alright. See if I got anything extra that needs to go in there. No. We'll place the motherboard right here. Everything aside. Put aside, include my little rubber ducky that they sent. Alright, cool. So let's sit this to the side. I'm going to sit this way back here, but I'm going to keep it on the rubber pad. This as well. Okay. It's the wrong way. Just have to move something out of the way. Trying to get it good for the camera angle. There we go. So we'll do this, tighten this one up. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna go back to build guide. All right, this is where we were at. So already up here, we already got the motherboard mount up there. So we're gonna take the motherboard, grab the top. This is where it says solder these wires in here. A lot of these things are going to be connected together. This is how it goes. Just want to make sure I'm putting it on correctly. We're going to take 4 M3 by 35s and connect this onto the mount. What are these? M5s? I don't need you. Don't need you. M3s. Thank you. Well, thank you for the rescue. All right. M3 by 35s. Wow. I think I only got 2 left. Yeah, only got 2 M3 by 35s. So hopefully these 40s, I can use these 40s. Cool. Go all the way through. This is a 40. I'm just trying to make sure I can go all the way through with this 40 first. And that looks like it works. Try these 40s up top first. Just making sure nothing on this cover, because I won't install the fans yet because it'll be too much trying to get around it. My actual tool. Sorry you guys, looking for my here we go. Let's get this one here, see if we can get in there. Needs the 35. Where I use all I must have, when I cut those other ones, use the 35s. I need them. So what's gonna have to happen is gotta order them. But it's okay, it won't stop anything because that's just extra support. There we go. Definitely when they say use something, that's what you want to use. There we go. Take you out. Okay. Just for now, I'll get some other M3s by 35s. Got an issue with the lining up in here. Let me take this out some. Okay. To get this one in. There we go. Cool beans. Alright, so I need some F35s for down there. See if I don't know if this will go all the way through. Let's see. Nope. So other than ordering them, what I might have to do is cut a few, and that's fine. I'm not worried about that. I'm just out of them. All right, so that's that. For the for the fans, we're gonna do M3 by 14s, but like I said, we're not gonna put the fans in right now because I gotta make some connections first. All right. One thing I do want to do is go to the pinout for this board because some of these fans. We got how many fan connections? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got extra connections up here for this adapter. You know, this one connection is 3 fans. This one connection is two. So how I actually have it is this is for these 2 fans plus the let's get this guy on here too. Forgot about him. plus the Raspberry Pi fan. Alright. So honestly, this is what this is going to look like. The Raspberry Pi plugs into there. Alright. Raspberry Pi is going to plug into here. And where are my fans? These two fans will get these two fans right here. We connect it right here and plug in right here. So these fans will be the same. All right. I'm just looking for anything in here that I have to plug in before I put those fans on. So I'm gonna go to the pinout for the so you're saying basically what, flip it over? So don't run my power terminals like this. Let's see. Let me see something before I do that. There's an issue with that. Do I have to? This circle isn't fitting. Fits right there. Maybe I didn't need to put that on. Or this might be if I do the encasing. So all I'm doing is, I get what you're saying, T. How the power terminals go in the exact bit, go in the same way. I think it would be beneficial for me to do that. Also, if I flip this upside down, I think I get those fans to line up correctly. Okay, the driver's on the bottom. Okay. Let's flip this, man. Let's flip it. See what we look like. If I break anything, you know, it's 3D printed, so. Isn't on correctly. I gotta get my fingers back here. Trying to make sure this one on the bottom is. I clamps issues. Alright, yeah, that's on. Okay. Let's see. I might have to flip those, and that's fine. I'll do that. I'll do that later off camera. Let me. Alright, can't get that far. Somewhere over. Alright, let's see something. Come on, buddy. All right. Nah, you were absolutely right, T. Because even with this now, those fans line up perfectly. The fans line up perfectly. All right. See, that's why I got you here, man. Thank you, thank you. All right. So now, with that being said, let me go into the pinout for the board. Sorry, you guys. I keep trying to use my Bluetooth on this thing. There we go. All right. So let's see. See if they have the pinout in the GitHub. All right, now we are a bit upside down now, so but it's all good. So now with the fan, before I put that on top, I forgot. With the fans, I had to place jumpers in the fan's location. So these are the actual fans. We got, I think all of our fans are 24 volt, so there has to be a 24 volt jumper wherever we're plugging fans at in these locations. No, you was right, T. You was right. So with that being said, let's see. It looks like all of the jumpers are there already at 24 volts. That's perfect. That's perfect. If you guys can see, I'm gonna try and get this in tight so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I know it's a bit dark. So right here, these are the jumpers right here. They're in the 24 volt section. If you look at the PDF on the side right here, you'll see that, and I'll go back over and highlight it with the pointer. So we're good as far as jumpers go for that. So we can start plugging stuff in. So this right here, these are all our fans. I just got to figure out, because we do have 7. Okay, so we actually have 7 fan options. Right here, like I told you, I used a couple of these to just like join certain fans together. So these 3 fans will be my fans that come out that, you know, that keep the motherboard cool, and the Raspberry Pi, these first 3. The second 2 will be for the part cooling fan at the hot end, and these last 2 are going to be for both of the auxiliary fans on the side that I'm eventually going to install on the side of this. So, you know, we put a lot of our fan ports together. We'll have like we'll be using basically like 3 fans, if that makes any sense. I don't think anything else is coming off fan wise that goes I'm sorry, these fans as well. The I forgot all about these fans. So the 2 stepper motor fans. So instead of the auxiliary fans going here, I might put the 2 stepper motor fans here. Put the 2 hot end fans here. The part cooling fans here, and the rest of the fans right here to exhaust the rear. The auxiliary fans will find 2 ports in here for the auxiliary fans. We'll put the we'll put it into 1 and find a port for the auxiliary fan, and I think that's about it as far as fans go. Nope, there is one more fan. There's one more fan. There's a for when we do the enclosure on here, the bottom hot plate fan. So it's a lot of you know, distance, because I think because of this battery cover, like this is a thicker battery. I think the designs were designed for maybe like a thinner battery. I gotta take this off. So once I take this off, this line's right up and will be right with the fan, with the fan mount. So this will line right up with the fan mount. So I gotta take this off, T. I put this on, it was unnecessary because I think the design was initially for a thinner battery. So I don't know if the Pro was more efficient than the Ender 3 as far as not battery. I keep saying battery, power supply. I don't know if the Ender Pro was more efficient than the Ender 3 when it came to power supply. Like we said, this is 360 watts. I don't know if it was less wattage and a smaller battery, because that's what the original design was for, and that's what the shroud was designed for. So I just got to take this off, and that negates my whole space thing back here. All right, anyway, let me get back to it. So we'll plug what's going to be on consistently. I think I'm gonna have those fans that cool the motherboard. That cool the motherboard and cool the X and Y stepper motor fans on these two ground connections. What these don't have a pin to control them. They constantly run. These two connections right here. If you can see that in that small screen, these two connections constantly run on the motherboard. The rest of these have pins attached to them, so they can be controlled. So you know, PA8, that'll be a fan. The PE5 will be a fan. You know what I'm saying? So these fans can be controlled by the inside of the config file. But these continue to run as soon as you turn on the motherboard. All right, there's one thing I had to take off the motherboard that I forgot to take off. It's a jumper pin to allow the power, and I'll do that later. I won't stun on you guys anymore just by studying stuff. I'll continue to go. But there's a jumper pin on the motherboard that you have to take off so that USB doesn't power the motherboard. I gotta look on that. I'll take it off later. All right, so the motherboard's in there. It's in there. All right, we're plugging in fans now. So this one, these three, I said I wanted to constantly run. So I'm going to plug them in fan 7. Make sure I'm where I'm supposed to be at, baby. Gotta make sure you're where you're supposed to be at. You don't want to burn nothing out, man. So that's the power supply on the supply with the slots. That's fan 7. So this is fan 7 right here. Alright, get that in there. Boom. These two, do I want them to continuously run? Yes. These are going to be the two stepper motors. They're going to continuously run. So they're going to be in the next one that doesn't have a pin attached to it. Okay, let's get that in there. Boom. Now, these were going to the part cooling fan. The part cooling fan has to have, you have to be able to assign something to the part cooling fan. It can't always run because, you know, you have first layers. You could be printing with ABS. You need to be able to adjust those things. So, that will be my part cooling fan is going to be plugged into, I don't know, this is just me. I want the most important fans in the beginning. So it's going to be plugged into PA8. Really, I'm going to make that the second. The first, I don't know why they call it, you know, 3D print OCD or whatever. My most important fan is the hot end fan. Because if that's not working, then you're going to have, you're going to clog your nozzle a bunch of times. All right, so that's the part cooling fans. These two are for the part cooling fan. That's the fans. All right, so with these, I said I wanted these running continuously. That's plugging in right there. This is another one that's running continuously. This is going to plug in right here. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong. Come on, baby. That's in there. This is in here. Those are for my two X and Y stepper cooler fans in here. All right. This right here. The heck did I say that was for again? It's something that's going to constantly run. Oh, the Raspberry Pi fan. Boom. Raspberry Pi fan. These right here are going to be for the 2 fans right here, the 2 6015 fans, and these are for the 2 part cooling fan. This is the first one right here. So we got a part cooling fan right here. We got a part cooling fan right there. And we have, hopefully that's in there. And where's the next part cooling fan? We got part cooling fan 2 right here. All right. That's how we're gonna do it, baby. Second part cooling fan right here. All right. You might as well get the wiring this thing up. So, extruder wise, so this is for the extruder. Who are you, man? Oh, okay, I know what you are. All right. So extruder wise, this is what it said. I said this is X, Y, and this is going to be Z, and this one. So this is X, Y, Z, O. I mean extruder. So this one right here is X, Y, X, Y, Z, Z, extruder. Because that one driver powers 2 Z-axis extruders. Okay. Cool. So, all right, Z. Okay. Bring him around. I'm gonna try and do something about these wires to get everything you know, nice and neat. I'll do all that stuff. That's thought process for me. That's my ADHD. That to get organized is a whole nother game. So all right, so you got, so this is X, Y, Z, Z. Put it in Z1. That's for the Z-axis. This is the Z-axis wire. It's coming from the front. It's coming from the front on the other side. All right. So this, let me see. See, they both spin. I'm not sure it was X, I'm not sure it was a Y. Because they're both spinning. So. Alright. What's pulling what? Find out what's pulling what. So, what pulls you back? This is going to pull you back, forward, and pull you to the side. Alright, so let's just say this is, and I could be wrong, please tell me in the chat if I'm wrong. We're going to say that this is the Y stepper. No, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this is the X stepper. So I say this is the X. And this doesn't even have like the thing on it, man. So this I might have to flip just to make sure it's going in the right direction. See, that's the X stepper. And let's say this one coming from this side is the Y stepper. If I'm wrong, please correct me. You guys see that? And this is the Y stepper. Okay. And there it is. So all our steppers are basically wired in. Alright, let me see what this one is. This is the thermistor. Let's focus on, let's get our fans done first before we go into actual controllers. Alright, so this is the hot end fan. So like I said, my hot end fan I feel like is the most important fan to me because it'll jam up everything if you don't have it done correctly. So let's put that in the first fan port. Cool. Okay. What's next? I think that's it for the fans. No. The hot bed fan to circulate the air when we put the enclosure on this thing. So this fan will, because it's so much of, I think it's more once we get the enclosures. Now the auxiliary fans is more to me, so I'll put this over here. And I think that's it as far as fans go. We still got like 3 ports open for fans. I think that's all of the fans. Alright, what do we have here? What are you? Alright, so this is the actual hot bed controller switch. This is the power. This is the switch for the heated bed. Or the controller, whatever you want to call it. Let's find where those are at on here. Those are all my fans. Drivers are there. These might be it. Let's see. PG ground. I think those are, I gotta take off this cover in order to get there. Yeah. The ones right above the pins for the ones right above the pins for the jumper for the stall guard. So these are the jumpers for the stall guard right, I don't know if you see, these are the jumpers for the stall guard right here. These should be the pins to control your hot end, your thermistor, had the heat bed, thermistor, heat bed. I don't need that pin right now. Those should be it for it. What else am I missing? That actual switch. I think those are it. And I gotta take this thing off and wire it up this way, have everything going inside, because these fans are supposed to go here. I can't go through these holes anyway. So I'm pretty sure these go in here. Yeah, I had to take this cover off. I'll hold it up with smaller screws. Take this off. And just in the config file, you gotta you know, you could almost, I say this lightly, but I do say it, you can almost, if you find a pin that fits in a motherboard, if it supplies enough energy for which, not energy, if it supplies enough voltage for what you need it for, and you know, the connection that you use, you could probably use it if it's a controllable pin. Correct me if you're watching if I'm wrong. If it's a controllable pin, you should be able to use that connection, but you just have to know where it is, and you know, stage it right inside of the printer CFG file. So I'm gonna take this down, just get it out of the way for a second. Okay, not officially getting out my way, but alright, so where are you? This is the thermistor wire. That regulates the temperature to the hot end. Okay. Alright, so that's heat, that's power going to the heat bed, the hot bed. This is the temperature regulation, like the thermistor for the hot bed. Alright. What else am I missing? This is for the end stop. This is just going to be an extra wire right now. This is the hot end. I got the hot end, the thermistor plugged in. I got my got the hot end, the thermistor plugged in. I also have the stepper motors plugged in, and I have the fans plugged in. Besides the power, what else? We definitely need to plug in the Raspberry Pi. But the Raspberry Pi needs to be powered. I don't know if the Raspberry Pi can be powered without a plug if I'm not hooking it up to the motherboard. So if I allow the motherboard to power the Raspberry Pi, I should be cool. And I gotta do that through the pinouts inside of the Raspberry Pi into the actual Bigtreetech motherboard. Okay. Okay, so I'll get those wires and do that, because I don't have those wires. I gotta look for them, so I'm not gonna hold you guys up on that. What else? So I'll connect the Raspberry Pi. Like, I was gonna connect the Raspberry Pi through the USB, but like I said, I needed to power. I need the motherboard to power the Raspberry Pi. I need the Raspberry Pi to be on when the printer's on. Okay. So it looks like everything's cool. All of that is connected. Everything besides the power. So like the power wiring. The Bigtreetech, I was gonna put a MOSFET in here. I actually do have it over there. But this is such a small build plate. And the Octopus is supposed to be powerful enough to control it, so I'm just going to wire it up that way. So when we actually wire this thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the power supply into the bed power. I'm going to go from the power supply into the power plus and minus, just for the motherboard itself. I'm going to go from the bed out to the bed. That's what these two wires are for, going to the bed. And here for the hot end, I'm going to put the actual hot end, which is right here. I'm going to put that into the hot end 0. So I'll do that one right now. With the hot end, when you're putting in the hot end power lines, it doesn't matter what's plus or minus. I mean, it was negative and positive. You can put it in there either way, but when you actually doing the power for the motherboard, bed power, and all of that stuff matters. What's negative or positive. But I'll just, because I got black and red, red is positive, black is negative, I'll put it in like that. Do hot end 0. Alright, so just put them in through the top. You got a plus or minus marks up there. Come on, get in there, baby. All right, just tighten them up. In there tight, baby. Sitting there tight, baby. Right, they're both in there tight. So right here, I just explained to you guys what I'm gonna do right there. I think I'm going to stop it here because I'm off camera. I'm gonna do some crimping to my power wires in order to, you know, have a bit more fluent power connection. So I'm gonna stop the live here. I'm gonna crimp all my connections. Next one, we're gonna go ahead and go. I'm gonna try and get it for this weekend. I'm gonna try and do it for this weekend so that once I connect all the power wires and stuff, everything power, then we can go into the actual office to start, programming our motherboard, our Raspberry Pi, with Clipper, flash. Then we're gonna have to flash our motherboard with Clipper firmware. Our Raspberry Pi, we're gonna set up and hook that up through what's that? I forgot, Clipper something for this KIUAH. The GitHub in order to get this running, and we're gonna see if we can get this thing to spin, baby. If I was confused about the X and Y axis, hopefully this weekend I'll know. Hopefully this weekend I'll know. All right, so bring this down here. Let me switch. Look at that trash on that over there, man. Let me get this pit. Can't get it around. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you going through this journey with me. Like I said, I know things can be a little frustrating if you're watching this live. I guess that's what live is all about. Things being frustrated and maybe skipping some of those steps for you guys when you go through it and doing your own thing. But I enjoy the journey with you guys. I enjoy talking to you guys. And like I said, we are setting up a system when we go live. Anybody like T, if you if you guys got you know, any information for me, and it's easier to talk to me, you know, I'll send you the shop's phone number, and we can just go from there, and we can talk, and we can speak through the live. So, you know, anybody like that. I know Armor 3D gets on sometimes, and you know, he has a lot of information for me as well. He's built a bunch of these, so you know, I definitely appreciate the help, man. After this printer, a lot of the printers I'll be printing in the background, and then you know, whatever type of you know, accessory I may build to it, I might do it live. Or, you know, I really want to build a Voron. So after this build, you know, I may focus on building a Voron, getting everything ready to go. Once things kick off, I want to take a big chunk of time. Like, you know, I want to put one of these printers within like either a 2 to 3 day perspective, to where that's what I'm focusing on for 8 hours of those days. So, you know, I doubt if it takes any printer 24 hours to put together on a consistent working basis, but we'll see. So, you know, absolutely, Voron's going to be super fun. Voron's going to, because, you know, with the Voron, it's built, you use kits and stuff like that, but it's not being built from another printer. No, yo, RH3D, thank you so much for this. And, you know, I was always excited about this project. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not comparing it to Voron. This actually goes to great engineering minds and beyond, because you took a printer, saw a certain aspect of it, and recreated it. That's a perfect thing. And then, you know, you simplified it to where the average Joe can basically do it. So that's beautiful. Oh, on the A1, shout out to Key Creations. My wife loves her models. This is a I believe it's some type of side tray cup holder for the bedroom or something like that. I don't know, but Key Creations, she has some good models, and my wife loves those things, so she's printing that right now, actually. Yep. All right, everybody, so thank you for tuning in. My name's D-Kel. I don't know if you could see it on the shirt. It's not Jedovi 3D, that's the company. D-Kel's the name. Thank you for tuning into the channel for this live. We'll be kicking off another live this weekend. Like I said, hopefully getting this motherboard programmed and the clipper, the firmware flashed on the motherboard, clipper streaming through the Raspberry Pi, and we do have a screen we're going to put on there to put the clipper screen on. So thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jean Felix. Thank you, brother. Yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the like button. Keep supporting us, man, because like as the chat grows, as more people come on, man, we're all going to be family. We're all going to be tied and tuned in. If I see it, if you're on the chat, you're already greatly appreciated by me. Greatly, greatly, greatly. Thank you so much. All right, catch you guys in the next video. Happy printing. I'll see you later.